Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a video that I think I very much need to do, and that is that we are going to be replacing my TikTok scrolling time with reading time. Now, I've done one of these before and it actually worked really well. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be checking my TikTok screen time for the previous day. I'm then going to set a timer and I am going to read for that amount of time. I'm not going to be trying to do this for a specific number of days. I'm just going to see how I get on and we're just going to take it as it comes. The goal of this is not to increase my reading time, because actually I read quite a lot most days anyway. It's to try and stop the doom scrolling. I found that for some reason I am hyperfixating on TikTok doom scrolling again after I just got out of the habit, and I need to kick it before we get into an even bigger habit. Now let's have a look at yesterday's TikTok screen time and see how long we've got to read for today. Okay, so my daily average on TikTok is actually an hour and 33 minutes. However, yesterday was a really rough day and I was on TikTok for 4 hours and 13 minutes. 12 minutes, sorry, which is an absolutely insane amount. So it's a good job that it's a weekend day and I can actually read for 4 hours. So I'm going to set the timer and we're going to start. Now I am going to be starting by audiobooking On Wings of Blood, because I do actually need to quickly edit a YouTube video that is going to go live tomorrow. So we're going to start with that, but I have been reading this in physical so far and absolutely loving it. Like, I'm actually obsessed with this book and I'm so glad I've got number 2 because I think I'm definitely going to go straight into it. Anyway, let's start this timer. I finished my rough cut editing and we listened to about an hour's worth, which is good going. I am a little bit worried about time though, I can't lie, because I still need to fully edit it and watch it through, but I am also going to my sister's now to do her nails. And it takes me a very long time because I'm still very new to it, but I can audiobook in the car on the way there and on the way back. So I'm going to transfer this timer over to my phone, time how long I'm listening on the way there, on the way back, and then whatever time we have left, we will do a mammoth reading session later on. Good morning. It's now Sunday, the next day. And you might be thinking, the last time we saw you, you were reading for 4 hours and 15-ish minutes and we haven't had an update. And that is because I went to my sister's with, I think, around 3 hours and 12-ish minutes left on the timer. And I went there for, it ended up being about 1:30. And I was like, I'm doing her nails. It takes me a really long time because I am a novice still. It takes me a while. I was like, I'll be home by like 6. I literally was there until 8 p.m. I got home at 8:30 and by the time I'd got back, I'd obviously read some on audio, so it ended up being, I think I had like 2.5 hours left at 8 p.m. and I basically just had to sit and read solidly for those 2.5 hours. I did manage to get it done. It was tight, but the best thing that came out of it was I finished this book. I enjoyed this so bloody much, so much so I've gone straight into book 2. In fact, the dust jacket is off because I am reading it, but let's talk about it. On Wings of Blood is like, it's very similar to Fourth Wing in, well, I say it's very similar to Fourth Wing because obviously Fourth Wing is a book that most people start when they read fantasy, or was kind of like the biggest hit with the kind of storyline that is in a lot of books, but it's very similar to a lot of books that have an academy setting and there are trials and tribulations that they have to pass in order to stay part of that academy, or to pass to get a certain benefit or a right or whatever it may be. And On Wings of Blood is one of those. So the main female character, Medra, she came from a Fey world and she randomly found herself in Sangratha, I think is how it's said, which is a vampire world. And there are high bloods Bloods, who are the vampires, and there are Blightborn, who are humans, and she is neither. I don't want to give too much away, but she kind of sits completely outside of that. She doesn't have the most simplest of times at the school, let's put it that way. And obviously there are lots of things happen with the MMC, Blake, who is he's like the prince of something, but I can't remember the exact phrase, but he's basically the nephew of the leader of one of the vampire houses, because there are 4 houses that kind of rule. There isn't a king or queen, like monarchy type thing. It's these 4 vampire houses with the leaders of those houses making up like a bit like a council kind of vibe. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well at all. How have I been semi-successful as a book creator when I don't even know how to describe the bloody things? But either way, it was really good. I'm so excited. Book 3 comes out on the 10th of March and I am so excited. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking about it. I gave this 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was really good. Didn't want to put it down. So now we move on to book 2. But anyway, the goal was to read for my TikTok doom scrolling time to see if it would reduce. And it did. I was on TikTok for 4 hours and 12 minutes. And my overall screen time was 7 hours and 9 minutes. So the aim was to try and bring that down. So yesterday, doing my reading, I managed to only be on TikTok for 42 minutes throughout the entire day, which is a vast improvement to the day before. And my overall screen time was only 3 hours and 25 minutes. So I would say it was a huge success yesterday. We are going to go today, but because TikTok's only 42 minutes, I'm going to step it up a level. And we're actually going to attempt to, at a minimum, do the total amount of social time I was on my phone, which is 1 hour and 33 minutes. Or if we can, we're going to aim for my total screen time, which was 3 hours and 25 minutes. So we shall see. So that is today's plan. Unfortunately, I do have a kind of busy day. And then at 4 p.m, I am meeting my sister to take our dogs to a field for an hour to let them have a run around and some crazy time. So when I get back from that, we're going to sit down and we are going to be reading The Bum That Burns for anywhere between an hour and a half and 3 hours and 25 minutes. Let's see how we get on today. Side note, the only thing I have realised, if I'm too successful at this challenge day by day, I then don't have time to make up for the day after. I feel like this is semi-flawed for me to do this for a significant amount of time. So if we get too good and I'm literally not on my phone for very long, we might have to up the ante by like going back to last week and having a look. We'll see how we get on today. Hello, so I last saw you whilst I was reading my book with the timer on, and I regret to inform you I didn't read for the whole however many hours we said it for. I aimed for, I think it was the 3 hour mark. I did stop it with 45 minutes remaining because I got to the point where my brain was just disengaging and I was like, I need to stop and I just need to rot on the sofa and watch telly. So that's what I did. So we did aim for the 3 hours and 25 minutes And like I say, I was 45 minutes shy of that, so we did 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I was only on social for an hour and 33, so we did improve. Then yesterday I did have a complete day off because I just needed no pressure, no challenge for yesterday. I didn't want to feel like I had to read for a certain amount of time. I just wanted to read and enjoy it. So I did actually finish The Bond That Burns by Briar Berlin. Oh my god, it's so good. I am obsessed with the series. I gave it 4.5 stars, and I also gave On Wings of Blood 4.5. And I don't know why I couldn't give it 5 stars. Like, I can't put my finger on why, because I do really love it and I am absolutely obsessed. Like, the cliffhanger that this left on, I was like, I am glad that I decided to read this now when the new book is coming out next month, rather than reading this months ago and having to wait this long for the next book, because I need to know what happens at the end of this book. And I kind of feel like the plot of this is very dissimilar to other books. Like, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of points that are very unique, which I quite like, even though it's like an academy setting, that kind of thing, which is quite similar to other books. I feel like the actual details are quite unique. I have decided to start reading Daisy Jones and the Six today because I had the audiobook for it and I've heard that the audiobook is insane. Now, I do have to work today. I can't listen if I have to read or like type anything because my brain can't do that. But if I've got something where I don't have to think, an admin related task, I can do it. And I have some of those today. And then after work, I think I'm going to do some colouring, I think it's a colouring kind of day. So that's my plans for this evening, but let's see how long we need to read for today. And let me tell you, it's not good. It is not good. So yesterday, I was on TikTok for 2 hours and 56 minutes. Not good. I seem to just find at the minute that I'm becoming obsessed with, like, when I find a particular video on TikTok, I'll watch it and then I have to go and watch all of that person's videos. And because I'm trying to train Teddy to heal, that seems to be the thing, and it's causing this. I am going to set the timer with you guys now, and then I'm going to go and start my audiobook with my admin tasks. And then when I start filming colouring later, you'll see how much time I have left on the timer and how much colouring we need to do. So yeah, let's do it. I have been a complete and utter failure. So, I completely forgot I hadn't finished this vlog. So the last thing that I filmed was me colouring, and I was having a absolutely fantastic time. Absolutely fantastic. I actually finished Daisy Jones and the Six. That is a great book. That is a great book. In fact, that is a great audiobook. 4.5 stars. It's like a documentary for your ears. Absolutely loved it. It was really unique and like nothing I've read before. So I really enjoyed that. And I was in the flow of colouring. So I decided to start Never Forget You on audio, because this is on my TBR for the month. So I was colouring away, doing excellently, and I actually read a ridiculous amount. I went way over the time allotted, and I did fantastic on converting my screen time, because on Tuesday I only had 39 minutes on TikTok. 39! I smashed it. And then you'll be pleased to know that I have managed to keep up the not scrolling on TikTok every day since. Today is actually Thursday, so it's been 2 days. But yesterday I was only on TikTok for 22 minutes. So far today I've only been on for 19 minutes, and that was the 19 minutes after I woke up this morning, before I got out of bed, because my alarm went off at 5:30 and I decided I just could not deal with life today. I actually have just finished Never Forget You. I actually finished that on audio today, and I gave it 3 stars. It was so-so. But anyway, the whole goal of this video was to try and stop me from pointlessly scrolling on TikTok, because I got into the habit. And the idea was to try and convert that into reading time, which I would say has been a huge success. I have really enjoyed it. Now the problem I have is keeping it going, because I'll keep it going for a certain amount of time and then I will just randomly have a day where I scroll on TikTok loads and then it becomes a habit and I constantly do it and constantly do it and constantly do it. It's a constant struggle, but I am determined. So in this video we have finished On Wings of Blood, One That Burns, Daisy Jones and the Six, all 4.5-star reads, and then also Never Forget You, which is a 3-star read. And I've done plenty of colouring. I've done some digital art, which I haven't filmed because it's a little bit of a secret. So not only have we read, we've also been creative. So again, I just think it's a huge success. Let me know if you struggle with TikTok doom scrolling, because I feel like it is a thing. It is a thing that everybody does. And I don't know what kind of drug there is in TikTok that keeps you hooked, but there just is. It's infuriating. But yeah, if you've read any of these books or if you have recommendations for anything that like On Wings of Blood, let me know, because I was obsessed with it, absolutely obsessed. And also just sneaking this in because I just need to show you, but this arrived today. I got my special edition of Daughter of Stone by B.A. Pepper. I rated this 5 stars. This is an indie special edition. It's an indie special edition and it is insane. And I also got some goodies with it. I got some character art and some stickers and a mark, which I'm obsessed with, and it also came wrapped in this purple tissue paper with this little wax seal on it, which I am absolutely keeping, and I'm going to try and display it with the book somehow because obsessed. Love it. You need to read that book and you need to get that special edition if you're obsessed with special editions like me. I'm going to stop rambling now and leave you guys to it. If you got to this point in the video, then make sure you put a phone emoji in the comments so that I know that you watched it all the way through. And if this is the kind of content that you like to watch, then maybe consider giving me a little subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload. And yeah, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.